Okay, Brian? Okay, good morning, everybody. We got a lot of stuff going on today, so we're going to roll right in here. For those of you that are new, for the next 5 minutes, John is going to play just so the people at home can check their sound, log on to the computers for the stream, and so on and so forth. So for the next 5 minutes or so, give your attention to John Shepard.
Please join me as we light the chalice. The words are in your order of service. We light this beacon of hope, sign of our quest for truth and meaning, in celebration of the life we share together.
And as the chalice is lit, may we calm our hearts and calm our minds, settle our spirits, that we might be able to find our time here together with deep meaning and caring and compassion. Thank you. Thank you, John. Welcome, beloveds, welcome. We come to spiritual community this morning with many hopes, and hope for comfort, and hope for renewal. As we gather here, may our time together honor the hopes we hold within. May our time together bless us with the gifts of inspiration, comfort, and renewal. Come, let us be together in this hour. Good morning, everybody. My name is Charlie Tyler. I'm the pastoral minister here at the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of the Low Country. Thank you for making yourselves available today and for being here in this presence, and I pray that there is something meaningful and deep and perhaps unexpected that might happen here in this place today. We do have some guest speakers who will be talking to us about one of the great movements against poverty in our community, Deep Well, and so I'm anxious to hear what they have to say. I'll be introducing them in just a moment. But I know that there's a number of other announcements that needs to take place today, and so Anthony, are you within? Anthony, if you would, please.
Don't cheer me, I'm gonna fall when I walk out the door. Is this working? Yeah. Anyway, my bi-monthly scolding of you guys for not putting your name on the snack donation list. We fill that table every week because of donations by you guys. So if you can look for this out there and put your name on a Sunday, and doesn't have to be anything fancy, all good. That's number one. Number two, totally different subject. I have volunteered to be the stage coordinator for Music on Malthus. So haven't done a thing, so no applause. But what I need is 2 or 3 of you to come join me, because I might not be able to be here every time. And so if there's 3 or 4 of us, we'll be good to go. Make that stage look good, get it ready for the performer, and, start going forward with it. We have some good ideas coming up with music, so we need to keep expanding it and bringing our friends, because the shows are, they are lights out and great. Anyway, I scolded you, and then I asked you. It's really, I did it in the wrong order, but thank you.
Thank you, Anthony, and your spirit of volunteerism is worth noting and following. Let's see, Clay, I believe you have an announcement you'd like to make.
Good morning. I want to introduce 2 new members that are going to take on the leadership role for safety and security. This is Kate and Stu Mace. They live in Sun City, and they've agreed to kind of take over this responsibility, which is exciting, and I'm going to let them talk more about safety and security.
Thank you, Clay. Thank you, Clay. There we go. I'm Kate. I bet you guessed that. We know most of you by the backs of your heads, so it's nice to see your faces. We are committed to walking together, and we're committed to the oneness that is us. From the Annunciation Catholic Church, we know that there's still a need for our safety committee, isn't there? In fact, I read in the paper that their door was locked. This is a church in Minneapolis. Their door was locked, and that saved many lives. So we need to continue to lock our door and have a group that will do that. There's really an urgency to this. I think you will agree. I heard that there are around 140 or 150 members, and if that's true, and one person does it every Sunday, that means we only each have to do it once every 3 years. It isn't hard. What it is lock the door, which we'll teach you how to do, and Gary taught me how to do it right. And then, and then let anybody in who's a little late, and then unlock it at the end of the service. So that is our only ask, and I think this is the easiest ask you're going to get this month, or probably this year. So right now, and I'm stealing this from Reverend Charlie, but if you look to your left and you look to your right, look behind you and look in front of you, those are the people you're going to keep safe. So make a plan to volunteer to do this. We really are dedicated to having so many people you won't have to do it often. Stu and I are going to stand at the doors as you leave the sanctuary and give you each a flyer with contact information so you'll know. This fits perfectly into building belonging, which is our theme. So thank you. We look forward to you all being part of the safety committee.
My question is, okay, anybody can stand out there, lock the door, and unlock the door. The reason you're doing that is so no one with a nefarious purpose is going to come in. How do you know that? And what do you do if there's such a...
Okay, I think that's a great question, and I don't know if you all heard her, but the question was, what do you do if you don't know who wants in? And I think we've done it a total of 3 times, so we're really new at this. But everybody who came in, I recognized the back of their head, so that was good. It's not, if in the event that there's somebody that you think looks like you better question, then we will not let them in. I think we need to get somebody who is knowledgeable, and we all know the people who look familiar. Gary will help us always. Yeah,
I have a question.
sure.
When people came in, did you ask them to turn around so you can...
I did, in case it was you. But I will also say, if you are worried, I would come into the sanctuary and say, please, somebody, I need help. And don't let them in. Yes?
So that's what happened one time, that there was a person who was let in, and there were questions. We'll just leave it at that. Someone came to me, I just sat next to him, introduced myself, and we just talked.
See, this is unthinkable, and I do not really believe it's going to happen, but man, they didn't think it was going to happen in Minneapolis either. So we need to do it. Most of us have cell phones, I think, and if you don't, the person right inside the door does, I'll bet ya. We can call for help. Another function is to open the doors when there's a fire, if there's a fire, you know. It's to help people leave orderly, exit in an orderly way. So we're really all really adults, like we've been there a long time. I feel like we can figure this out. But I think that's a fair question, and if that wasn't a good answer, I'll be glad to take direction.
So this is something that will take a whole lot longer for us to kind of chew through. And I would like for us to perhaps talk with the board about organizing more of a scheduled time to discuss this. And thank you both
You're welcome.
for taking on a very serious and front page kind of issue here. Thank you. Diane, there you are.
Hi, everybody. I'm Diane, and I'm part of the Peace Squad. And I am here to announce the beginning of the Kindness Challenge. So last year, we had our first annual to celebrate the International Day of Peace. And the International Day of Peace is celebrated throughout the country and throughout the world by all kinds of organizations with bonfires and celebrations, music festivals. And here in Bluffton, our celebration is going to be signing up for a week of kindness. So that means saying that you'll do one act of kindness every day for a week. And we have a little worksheet for you to give yourself stars and record. And we're going to start on the 14th, so which is next Sunday. So for the International Day of Peace, which is the following Sunday, we'll be able to hand them in and count them. Last year, we had almost 400 acts of kindness performed by members of the UUCL. Those who participated last year, could you raise your hand? Was it fun? Yes, it was. Thank you. So there may be a few questions, but I know we have a full schedule today. So I'll be, again, answering some of your questions next week, but I'll be out in the lobby at the break and with the sign-up sheet and your checklist and the sign, so you'll be able to find me. There's a pink balloon. So any questions you have, I really appreciate a sign up today and again next week for those of you who didn't sign up. So, yay!
Thank you. And Diane is going to be available in the lobby after service is over. Track her down and talk more with her about this fabulous opportunity. David, there you are.
So I know that the announcements are going a little long here, but we have exciting news. Thanks to a very generous donation from Dick and Molly Hood and from the Donna Titus Memorial Fund, managed by Ellen Titus and Ann Harrison, we have completely upgraded our streaming system. So today is a test day. You'll notice there's no camera right there. And if you haven't noticed, now, if you're on witness protection and you don't want to be on camera right now, just stay seated. But if you're willing and able, I'm going to ask you all to stand and turn toward the back of the sanctuary. So take a look up in the corners and look in the center, and you see that we have new cameras there. These cameras have exceptional sound. They are called PTZ, meaning that they pan, they tilt, they zoom. So Molly and Dick should be watching right now, so let's hear it for Molly and Dick. And Ann Harrison is not here right now, but Ellen Titus is here. So for the Donna Titus Memorial Fund, let's hear it for Ellen. Now, the last thing in the corner, if you have not noticed this gentleman seated at the soundboard there, this is Brian Cuervo. Brian, wave your hand, Brian. Let him know who you are. Let's hear it for Brian. Brian has designed this system. He has spent so many hours at home, at the church, making this work, climbing through the rafters like a little mouse, climbing up the top there, so we could get the wires going and get this all working. So today is the test day. And if you want to see what I'm talking about, when you go home, go onto our website, look at services, and you'll see this service online. And unless we run into any technical issues, which is all is good so far, right? All is good so far. You're going to notice a huge improvement over what you've seen if you have streamed any of the previous services. So once again, Molly and Dick, the Tituses, and Brian, let's hear it for them.
So I love to stand in front of a congregation that reminds me that I'm absolutely out of control of everything that's happening up here today. Thank you for your spirit, the hope that's in this place, and the good news that continues to travel out from here. The Raycraft family. Bill, would you please come up? Bill and his wife Janet joined the church some time ago, and these badges have been up here for some time. They signed the book and promptly went to Tacoma, Washington for several months. And so they are now here to receive their badges. Thank you. And now this is the point where I say, anybody else? Because it's a good thing. It's a very good thing. I'm now going to ask, what happens when I leave without my glasses? There we are. Shivane Vasquez Rodriguez. If I butchered that, my apologies. But this is the keynote speaker for our morning today. Who'll be talking about what's going on, breaking the path of poverty through the work of Deep Well. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. It's Siobhan Vasquez Rodriguez, and it's okay. It gets worse than that, trust me. So just wanted to thank you all for having us here today. As he mentioned, we're with the Deep Well Project. I am a social worker by profession. I am working with this program called Circles that I'm really excited to tell you all about, which is a poverty alleviation initiative, not program. I like to use that word intentionally. And today I have with me Lori Alexander, who is our volunteer coordinator. She also leads our jobs and education team within the Circles program, and we'll tell you more about that in a minute. And we also have Karen Bittman, former board member for the Deep Well Project, and she is currently leading our meals and hospitality team. So thanks to them for being here, and we're excited to tell you all about the work that we're doing and hope that we are here to inspire some folks. Thanks.
And now, if you would please take your hymnals into your hands, turn with me, if you will, to hymn number 38, and may we stand and sing together as we're comfortable. Singing Morning Has Broken. Thank you. You may be seated. And before we continue, I'm going to come back to ask for our visitors, if you would please, to stand and give us your name. Tell us where you're from. I had forgotten this part earlier today. So if there's anybody in this right-hand section, my right-hand section, your left, who is a first or second-time visitor with us, we'd love for you to stand and give us your name. In the center section, first or second-time visitors. And on my left, your right, any first or second-time visitors with us. Welcome back. Yes, sir?
I'm Neil. This is my second time here. I'm just trying to get a feel for what it's like. And I've enjoyed it so far. You're all so kind and so welcoming.
Welcome back. Anybody else? Anyone missed? Thank you for being here. For those of you that are here today, I'm asking that this service would be one of renewal and hope in our own lives and in our own community. So I'm going to turn this over now to our sharing our community, if you would, Beth.
As you know, this is the moment that we share in our abundance, and we want to thank everybody who has left donations of non-perishable items on the back table that will be given to Bluffton Self-Help and the Sandalwood Food Pantry. And remember, each Sunday, that need is still there, so don't forget. This is also the time that we pass the basket and ask for you to share in your abundance with the work that we do within these walls and beyond. If you are a visitor, please let that basket pass. Your presence here today is your gift to us. We thank you for your generosity.
So yes, Betsy. Yes, ma'am. So it looks like will be doing joys and concerns. So y'all know the ritual here. If you have a joy you wish to share with our congregation, that we might be able to share that with you, and as well if you have a sorrow or a concern that you would like to share with our congregation, that we may carry you in those hopes. So if there are anybody who would like to share, Clay, if you would please.
Morning again. I'm Clay. I want to share a joy that concerns yesterday in this church, and Cheryl and George, and a group which you've heard about over and over ago, Indivisible. But yesterday, the Bluffton chapter and the Beaufort chapter joined together, and they brought Dr. Annie Andrews here. George estimates there were 270 people in this building.
We tried to get in and couldn't get in.
Literally. And it was really rocking. And it was really great. And I'm so proud of their leadership and just so proud of UUs for offering a space for this kind of exciting presentation.
Good morning. My name is Kathy. I have a concern. Nancy Frank has been trying to get to surgery for her shoulder. She is sick again, so the surgery's been canceled. So keep her in your thoughts, she asked that, but no card, she said. Just keep her in her thoughts so we can get her there and get that shoulder worked on. My second really concern and sadness, we talked this morning about security and safety. And the children in Minneapolis, there is still a child who was shot in the head that day, who remains in critical condition in the intensive care unit in Minneapolis. Please send your strongest wishes for her recovery. I think she was 10 years old or is 10 years old, so, okay, thank you.
Hi, my name is Linda, and I have two concerns that I hope that you will hold in your heart. My nephew is back in the hospital again. He's got a severe infection in his abdomen. They haven't decided yet whether they're going to drain it or do surgery. And then this is his second bout with this in 2 weeks. And if it works, they'll take out his appendix in about 6 weeks. He is a surviving son of my sister, who is having knee replacement surgery on Wednesday, and her husband has dementia. So their plate is rather full. So I would hope that you would please keep them in your good thoughts and in your prayers if that is what you do. Thank you.
I'm Debbie. Last week, Roy and I were made great-grandparents for the third time. Our grandson and his wife, who live in Portland, Oregon, had twin girls. They were both about 4 pounds, one a little less, one a little more. And they're getting along well. Just wanted to share that with you.
I just wanted to take a moment.
He just wanted to take a moment and undress. And Kim says, please don't. So David has had his first session of immunotherapy, and I give you the list of 30 things. These things could happen. All these things could happen. Maybe not. Maybe not. Well, he had some itching on his arms, okay. And then he had some maybe sweats, okay. And
no sleep.
Yeah, we don't have any sleep anyway in our house. So okay. And so now we wait, and in 3 weeks we go back and do it all over again.
I think the main point is Thank you all.
Really, thank you so much, because this congregation has been unbelievable. The cards, all of a sudden he wants to get the mail. Right? And we got cards going on, and when a new card comes, then the cards slide down, and it's so fun for us just to know that you're all out there. That positive energy is unbelievable, and it's keeping us going, and it's keeping us going.
And that love.
Yeah, and the love. We're feeling the love. Thank you so much.
I will go ahead and place 2 stones in the cairn for the joys and concerns that remain unspoken. And I will also place a stone for those children affected by gun violence. And now if you will join me in reading the affirmation in the back of your hymnal. It is number 580. The central task of the religious community is to unveil the bonds that bind each to all. There is a connectedness, a relationship discovered amid the particulars of our own lives and the lives of others. Once felt, it inspires us to act for justice. It is the church that assures us that we are not struggling for justice on our own, but as members of a larger community. The religious community is essential, for alone our vision is too narrow to see all that must be seen, and our strength too limited to do all that must be done. Together, our vision widens and our strength is renewed.
Several years ago, I walked through the front door into this amazing congregation. And you guys won me over with your hearts then. And when I watch what unfolds in a place like this, Sunday after Sunday, particularly in a Sunday like this one, I find myself really overflowing with joy and appreciation for the people that are in this room, for the hearts that are in this room, and for the transformation that's in this room every time we come together. And so when I listen to announcements, David speak, Ellen speak, and I didn't see what David had on his chest, so I feel like I've been... Superman, excellent. And he is that, exactly right. But that's a part of who we are and the joy of who we are, even in our heartaches. And I know that we're going to be losing somebody from our congregation here soon. Lynn Nordenberg will be making a move to spend some time with her daughter up north, some unknown country that I'm unfamiliar with. But we will be missing you during your time, and you're doing this the right way. So thank you, Lynn. Anyway, that's what I wanted to say for what I'm experiencing here in this place right now. And now I'm going to turn it over to Deep Well.
All right, thank you again for having us. So I'm here today to talk about the Circles initiative that we started 3 years ago? It's been 3 years already. Sometimes it seems longer, but some days it feels like it was just yesterday. So there is a page connected to the Deep Well Project's website with information specific to Circles, and I welcome you all to check that out, and we have brochures and stuff that we'll share after service. But I just wanted to talk quickly about the Deep Well Project. So for those who are not familiar with the Deep Well, they have been in business for over 50 years and providing services to our neighbors in the community. We do everything from financial assistance when someone is experiencing hardship to offering food. We also have a food pantry. We have a program called the Livable Housing Program, where we help our neighbors who may have needs to keep them safe in their homes, whether it be a leaky roof that they can't afford to fix, or building a ramp for someone who needs accessibility access to their home and whatnot. So on our website, you will find more information about these services that we provide. But I like to include this in our introduction because it leads me to why we decided to start this initiative called Circles. The Deep Well doing this over the years, we have continued to evolve in the services that we offer and the help that we provide to our neighbors in our community. And they kept facing the same question. You know, how do we get to the root of this problem as opposed to just trying to put Band-Aids on combat wounds here? And, you know, what they had done was research regarding, they didn't want to reinvent the wheel. They wanted to do something that they knew would work. So they did some research and they found Circles USA. They are a national organization and they have 56 chapters in over 23 states, I guess international because they also have 16 chapters in Canada. And what Circles USA is they're a program or program and initiative, those two words, you know, we offer programs, but Circles is an initiative. So Circles USA being around since 1998, they offer us regular check-ins, guidance, information, networking through other organizations that are doing work that is similar. And what they do is we focus on intentional friendships, bringing people together and supporting and lifting each other up, where programs similar to Big Brother, Big Sister programs or things like that, where folks are provided with mentorship and bringing folks together to help them understand what options are available to them. And what typically happens with folks who are living in poverty, they typically run in the same circles. And what we hope to do is to provide them with other alternative perspectives by introducing them to folks that may be outside of their community and provide them with guidance that they don't know. So I always use myself as an example. Coming from a family with both my parents having less than a high school education, I knew nothing about higher education. I didn't even really see the value in it because that wasn't instilled in me through the generations before me. So as I increased my social capital and networked as I got older, I met people who were educated, and I was able to see and understand the value of education. And through those interactions, I made the choice to go on to school and become a social worker. So the two primary goals of Circles is to help families out of poverty, but also to remove the barriers that are keeping folks in poverty. And that's really important because you can help lift someone up, but if it's generational or cyclical poverty, they could find themselves back in the same situation. So we're addressing things like childcare, education, affordable housing, all of those things that are typically keeping people from reaching the goals or experiencing those achievements that otherwise aren't available to them because they are in a state of survival, if you will. They may not have the child care to get the job, to go to school, whatever the case is. So we look at the root cause of why a family may be experiencing financial hardship. So participants who join the Circles program, what we look at are folks that are able to commit to this 1 week or once a week meeting. We get together every week and we have dinner. We are looking at folks who have a readiness to change, who really want to make some changes in their lives and they're looking to experience something different. We're trying to bring folks to at least 200% of the federal poverty line, and that looks different depending on the household size. And actually, after looking at some statistics with the United Way of the Low Country, we learned that in order for a family to really be able to survive and live comfortably in the Low Country, they need to be at about 280 or 290% of the federal poverty line, just because of the increasing cost of living, housing, food, all of those things. So that's what we try to do, is find a way to help families on a path to financial well-being. Another focus we have within the Circles program is the children's and family aspect. There is a multi-generational approach. We provide childcare, we provide curriculum for the children who attend Circles on a weekly basis, because we really want to be a catalyst for change within the families that participate in our program. Generational poverty is extremely, extremely difficult to break that cycle. It's almost never possible without some kind of external influence or intervention. And I shared one of mine, that external influence of meeting people who had college education and learning about that. Some folks never have those interactions, especially if they're living in these really close circles and communities where they don't have those influences. So that's what we hope to be, is a catalyst for change. A child born into poverty doesn't necessarily have to grow into an adult living in poverty. We focus on children and families because adverse childhood experiences are essentially those really bad things that happen to kids that can affect their development, can affect their self-esteem, it can affect their health. And while not unique to families living in poverty, it is more than likely to occur within a family experiencing poverty because of the variables and the level of challenges that they have to experience. So it can physically change how a child's brain develops when they're experiencing things like domestic violence, which can sometimes just be two parents arguing about money a lot and what that makes a child feel. So we also focus on that, becoming that catalyst for change to protect the children that are growing up in these households. So we get together on a weekly basis every Wednesday night. We start with a meal, so folks are coming together, breaking bread. We have volunteers from all over the community, and this is probably the most beautiful thing about it, is we're bringing together people who may have never met if not for this initiative, and we're helping people build confidence and self-esteem and feel better connected within our community. We have dinner every week from 6 to 6:45. Then we move into announcements and our topic of the week, which could be a presentation, it could be a working session, we could bring in guest speakers, anything that will help these families on a path forward. So some of those example topics are financial stability, social networking, improving communication, time management, things of that sort. We have brought through 3 cohorts so far. We are working with, I believe our last 26 households, but I think our last count is 27. We brought on another household. So that means there's 32 adults and 38 children that are involved in the program, but that doesn't count the multi-generations that are living together and the ripple effect. So as we're teaching an adult child who still lives with their parents, who are perhaps not English speaking, so they don't come to our meetings about, we'll bring in someone from Low Country, legal volunteers to talk about family law, for example. They may be learning something that they can take home to their families that they can then continue to share on. So that's the benefit of working with these families in the community. So Circles, we see an average increase of 70% 6% in income. The longer that someone is in the program, the more their income increase, and that is by way of us helping them to get better education, training. Oftentimes, that job that you want or need is just one reference away, and we help with scholarship opportunities. We help people obtain, whatever home ownership or rental assistance that they might need. So if someone is underhoused, right, so they're not necessarily homeless, but if they and their 3 children are renting a room because that's all they can afford, we help them figure out what are their options so that they can get themselves under their own roof. These are some statistics from our first cohort. We started with most of our families below 200% of the federal poverty line. And while you see that there were 3 families below 100% of the federal poverty line, which according to those standards, they are technically in poverty, even though you can be above the poverty line and still experience financial hardships, we were able to bring many of our families up closer to that 200%, and quite a few were able to make it up above the suggested 290% that the United Way of the Low Country had provided us with. And that was just, we had some folks graduate, get degrees, get certifications, even just a referral to an employer that they knew were hiring and things like that. So we were able to help many folks, and they've gone from surviving to thriving, and we're really proud of them. So on our website, you will also find information regarding the impacts that we have seen, the increases in education, and what folks have reported. One of the things that's really interesting is the increase in self-confidence and that increased feeling of purpose and meaning really helps folks to stray away from making risky decisions in their lives, because they themselves feel more worthy of a better life. So they're making better choices for themselves and for their children, and that's just something that we can't measure, but we see it. We see folks come in and they're just a shell of who they could be, and then suddenly they're exploding with excitement and confidence, and they're proud of the things that they're doing in their lives, and we are literally watching folks grow. So on our website, you'll find information from 2023. We also have information regarding what we saw in 2024 there. You'll see the number of adults who were enrolled in higher education programs has continued to increase. And I'll give Lori a minute to just go through this scholarship information.
Super. Thank you again, everybody, for having us. We really appreciate this opportunity. So Siobhan mentioned earlier that I chair the Jobs and Education team. This is one of 7 volunteer groups in place to support this program. And one of the things that we are most proud of is the number of participants in this program who have gone to college. These many times are first generation college attendees, because here's the deal. If you want to get out of poverty, and the primary goal of this program is to achieve financial stability, you need to get a better job. You need a higher paying job. In order to get a higher paying job, you need to have the credentials to get that job, to be competitive, to even be in the running. So we view education, higher education, as a cornerstone of this program. And Deepwell, thankfully, had a scholarship program in place before the Circles program even started. And with the launch of the Circles program, we redirected all of our funds and are only making it available to the adults and the leaders in the program. So just a couple of the highlights. Our investment to date over 6 years is $300,000. And that is through people attending the Technical College of the Lowcountry, University of South Carolina Beaufort campus. And also, this third cohort is doing something really terrific. They are taking industry certification programs, which I just love, because these are more quick hits. You know, you can get a certification in an industry credential, and presumably the content is a little bit more contemporary, you know, and it's more competitive, so you're able to, you know, move around faster. So you can see the results here. Of the 34 students, 75% are completing and making the grade and transferring. And if you know anything about retention statistics in higher education, that's a really good number. That's a high number. So we're really pleased. This is, and I'm just going to give you one example, just one success story to bring it all home, which is there was a young lady working at Publix at the takeout center, and I was over there ordering lunches every day for the volunteers. We got to talking. She said, you know, what are you doing here? And I said, oh, I work at Depot. I'm buying lunches for the volunteers. This was during our Santa shop. And so anyway, then later on, I came in with my Circles t-shirt on, and she said, what Circles? And I said, well, it's this poverty reduction program and whatnot. And I told her a little bit about that. And she said, I need that program. I'm in poverty. I'm working 2 jobs. I cannot make ends meet. I'm falling deeper and deeper behind. I know how to budget. There's not enough to go around. And I said, okay, you know, come on. And she started coming on Wednesdays right away. Fortunately, we had a cohort that started about 2 months later. And I got around and asked her, I said, well, what do you think about going back to school? Oh, I'm too old. You know, she's a woman, probably in her 40s, single mom with 3 children, working 2 jobs. And about 3 weeks later after that, she said to me, I saw a job I want. She said, but there's this credential I need. It's an insurance certificate in property and casualty. She said, I used to have that. I used to have that before my 3rd child. And she said, I'd like to get that. I'd like to renew that and kind of restart, you know, my career. And I said, okay. So we got her enrolled, and we got her the laptop and what she needed to take the program. And she passed that examination on the very first attempt. She got her license. She had 3 job opportunities within the very first week. She accepted one with Allstate, reputable company. And they gave her a $3,000 signing bonus, and she is making more money than she has ever made in her life, quadruple what she was making cobbling those different jobs together. So this is just, you know, this is the magic that happens in this program and the difference that education can make in your life. So anyway, thank you for listening, and we appreciate your support.
So we're going to wrap it up because I know we're running out of time. But just wanted to mention, our chapter has grown so quickly that we started to receive national recognition from the Circles program. We have what is called allies in our program. They're sort of like mentors, but we call them allies because they're walking alongside the participants. We received, 2 of our allies received the Outstanding Ally of the Year award. So that was amongst all of those various chapters, and honestly, they're just doing what they're passionate about and being good friends and intentional about how they give back to the community. And receiving the recognition, it just means the world to us. Since we've started Circles, we moved to a brand new venue. We now hold our meetings at Ilderton Hall at the Hilton Head Presbyterian Church. We outgrew the space that we were at prior to that, and we're serving more families. We had to hire a certified teacher to coordinate the children's program. We also hired a second social worker because I was losing way too much sleep. And we have recently hired interns from within the chapter. So the participants who come through the program, we provide them with a paid internship to help them even more. So they are developing skills. We're putting our money where our mouth is. We're not saying that these are the soft skills that you need to learn in order to become employable. We're giving them the opportunity to learn those skills in-house. So that's something that we're really proud of offering as well. So lastly, what you can do as a community is just refer a family, tell them what we're doing. If you want to volunteer, we have various opportunities. You can become a family's ally, which is just someone who meets with them and helps them work on their goals, problem solve, things of that nature. You don't require any special training for it. The way we define an ally is an intentional friend. And I look at it like there is a common goal that we want to achieve, and we're going to help each other get there. You can just advocate for circles or donate meals. We do serve dinner every week. We want that to be one less barrier that our families have to worry about. So after a long day of work and soccer practice and whatever else they're doing with their children, they're able to come in and we feed them. And thanks to Karen, we feed them well. Karen works with many donors. We have had over 70 meal donors. I couldn't even increase the size of the font on this slide, but we have had so many generous supporters. Many local churches will have a team come together and they'll cook a meal for us, or they'll buy a meal for us, or they'll just provide the entree, whatever it is that we need to do in order to make a meal happen on a weekly basis. But we are so appreciative of everyone who is supporting the work that we do, even if they can't be there every week. Just sharing that information and keeping us in your thoughts and thinking of these families as they navigate this path to success. So that's all we have for today, but I just want to say thank you so much for having us. If you have any questions, we will be out there. We have brochures, information, be happy to discuss more with you. Thanks so much.
Now, if you would please take your hymnals into your hands and turn with me, if you will, to hymn number 168, and may we stand and sing together one more step. Thank you. You may be seated. I want to remind all of us that we'll be staying afterwards for talkback. I'm sure this has created a lot of questions in you, and these ladies will be available to you for a good while after our service. We gather back in here at about 11:15. So grab your coffee and be back here as soon as you can. Nino, I believe, thank you for coming back. It's good to have you here. And he's humble. He's trying to hide. If we were more that way. So we are in this place for this time, and I really want to thank Deep Well for being here, being present, giving us a vision that we might be able to join them. And so, Siobhan, if you have one more closing word.
So I think the last thing I want to say is, you know, being a part of Circles and the Deep Well Project has really inspired me to be the best version of myself. Working in the field of social work, I experience secondhand trauma through the things that folks are dealing with every day. And we wouldn't be able to do it without folks like you who step up and provide folks with encouragement and support. So just want to say thank you for even just thinking of us and having us here to share what we do.
Please stand if you're willing and able, and join me in extinguishing the chalice. The words are in your order of service. We extinguish this flame. We still carry in our hearts the light of truth, the warmth of community, the fire of commitment, until we are together again.